Hey guys, welcome back. We should only be a few days off the announcement of the next Banlist for Master Duel. We are already pretty late, and we obviously also will then know when the next pack hits Master Duel, the new selection pack for November, and we will most likely get some hints as to what could be in there. But I want to use Untap GG here to think about what could be on this Banlist. You can see right here Ryzeal being the most prominent and highest win rate one at the moment. Here we have Bystial control, we have Orcust, we have Labrynth, we have Maliss, and then also Maliss. Maliss being Orcust here. One of these is Orcust combined with the Mitsurugi stuff. I think it's Maliss. They, I don't know, can't really put this together right. I'm not quite sure. But I want to take a look at all of these decks and make a prediction about what I think will be hit on the next ban list. I personally think, and you can let me know in the comments what you think of this, that the next one will be a smaller ban list. The game is definitely healthier than it was before. The Maliss hits were nice. We will need more Maliss hits, but let's take a look. So we have Ryzeal first, and you can see that the top decks, which have a strange win rate percentage, I don't know, have the Mitsurugi engine with them together. We can scroll down maybe a bit further for the decks with the positive win rate here, but you can see basically everything here is a Ryzeal Mitsurugi. No big surprise. It's just a super strong deck. Obviously, there will also be other variants here, probably with Heraldic or just Ryzeal Pure or with the Magistus package here. If we scroll down further, you can see here's the Heraldic stuff, for example. But yeah, we have Ryzeal, Mitsurugi, and obviously, and I will only say this once here, Mitsurugi won't be hit. We have it in the shop. It has just came out, so obviously nothing happens to Mitsurugi. But I think there is a point to be made that we could see some Ryzeal hits. We have the X Ryzeal at 2, which was a good pre-hit. And there are different lines that you could go for. For example, in the TCG, we have the Sword Ryzeal at 2, we have the Ice Ryzeal at 2, and now they have the X Ryzeal at 1. I think X Ryzeal at 1 is something that will happen at some point. Not right now, maybe. And you could also think about the Ryzeal Detonator going to 1, even though this is like more of a minor hit. So if I would call a hit for Ryzeal, which I think is possible, one of the more likely hits, then I would say we get the Ice Ryzeal to 2. I think we will have this very slow decline of Ryzeal. They won't go like Ice to 2, Sword to 2, X to 1, or Sword to 2 at Ice to 2, as well as the X to 2. It's already at 2, but this is what we had in the TCG. I don't think we see this very hard hit because we have a monthly ban list, so we don't really need this. My call for this one is Ice Ryzeal going to 2 because it's definitely better than Sword Ryzeal going to 2. Just make it a bit less consistent. This will most likely still be the strongest deck in the room. Then we have this Bystial control variant, which here it is a mixture actually, but it's kind of nice because here you can see it's Mitsurugi Pure, and here you can see it's like Gem Knights, and here is the there's also the pure Bystial control version right here. And I think there's something interesting to talk about here, mainly the fact the Fiendsmith engine, right? So Fiendsmith engine is also something that could see a hit. I don't think this will happen right now because it's not super dominant. I think it's in a place where it is actually okay as it is. But should something happen to the Fiendsmith engine, I think Engraver going to 1 is pretty likely. We could also see Tracked going to 1. Not all lists are playing Tracked at 2. As you can see right here, we have different amounts of Tracked, but this is also something that could happen. I think the Forbidden of Moon, like we have it had in the TCG, will not happen at this point, maybe in the future. But once again, I don't think the Fiendsmith is super dominant right now. So this is the most likely hit. I think the Engraver going to 1. But then again, I don't really see this happening. Talking about Gem Knights here, will something happen to Gem Knight? I don't think so. This is a very strong deck. And I think if more people would play the deck, people would be way more annoyed with this and they would need to do something about this. Basically the Tenpai situation all over again, but Tenpai was way more popular. So yeah, there could be happening something to this deck. Obviously they could re-hit the Brilliant Fusion that they went to 3 with. We could see something like Gemini Dispersion going to 1, or maybe the Nephirim or stuff like this. But once again, I don't think this will happen on this list, and I also don't think it is necessary. This might never happen. So Fiendsmith hit possible, but I don't really think so. I think the Ryzeal Ryzeal hit is very likely, whereas these hits are very unlikely. And then we have the next thing here is Orcust, also very strong at the moment. A lot of people are on Orcust, a lot of people play this deck, which is kind of nice. People were really waiting for the support wave, and if we take a look at this, we once again have the Fiendsmith engine that we could talk about, but obviously we won't see anything to Orcust because it's just not too strong, and it just has been released. The new Orcust card have just released, so obviously nothing is going to happen to Orcust on this Banlist. This is a no-brainer. Then we have Labrynth here performing quite well. Not surprising. I'm always surprised that Labrynth isn't performing better because I think it's just such a versatile deck. The problem being obviously that if you go second, then there is a big problem with this deck. We are playing barriers that we can theoretically activate. Obviously very strong, not against Maliss unfortunately, but we have something like the Karma Cannon that we can play on our turn with the Arias here. Will they do something to Labrynth? No, they might just put these back to 3 if anything. So obviously no Labrynth hits incoming, is just not too dominant. And then we have the Orcust Mitsurugi variant, same thing as with the pure Orcust or the pure Mitsurugi stuff. At some point there will be Mitsurugi hits for sure, and we will have to see how they look like, because funnily enough, neither in the TCG nor in the OCG, in the OCG it makes sense because Mitsurugi just came out, but also not in the TCG have we ever seen some hits to this deck. But I think the most likely ones at some point are Habakiri going to 1 or the Prayers going to 1. These are just no-brainer hits. I think Habakiri is more likely, maybe a bit more likely, I don't know, it's tough to say. Both of these hits basically do the same thing, because the Prayers starter gets you into Habakiri, and Habakiri is just Habakiri. So I think that, yeah, hitting one of these 2-1 is the first thing we are going to see with this engine. Another possibility would be to hit the King of the Feral Imps. We have seen this in the TCG, so to make Mitsurugi Ryzeal weaker. I think this is a very likely hit. Not right now, not on the next Banlist, but maybe in the future, because this could really hit Ryzeal without hitting Ryzeal, which is a very interesting take. Once again, not really see this happening right now, but definitely could be something in the future. If Ryzeal Mitsurugi is too dominant, you could just say, okay, just kill the King of the Feral Imps, forbid it like in the TCG, and then people can still play Ryzeal, people can still play Mitsurugi, but you can't combine them anymore. A good option. And then we have obviously Maliss. Will there be something happening to Maliss on the next list? Maybe. I think something that is kind of likely is the White Rabbit going to 2. This is the most likely hit in my opinion. You don't want to hit the extra deck monsters because this kind of kills the deck, especially hitting the White Binder, but also the Red Ransom. I guess hitting the Crypta would be okay because she's not super necessary. But we could also see some hits around these, like hitting the Link Decoder for a weaker combo. Splash Mage hit was very effective in the TCG, also a possibility, but this also hits Cyber stacks in general, so I don't really think we are doing this. I think before we get these general Cyber hits, we will definitely see more Maliss hits, and once again, the most likely one just being this White Rabbit 2-2, in my opinion, just killing the consistency of the deck, which is the deck's biggest problem, and this is very effective. We could also see Appaloosa go, but I don't really think so, and then again it's also not super effective because we still have the Echo Talker Adignista here, that is basically, yeah, a replacement for Appaloosa anyway, so it doesn't really make the biggest difference here. Do we see hits to Maliss? I think so, and I think we go White Rabbit to 2. So my call in general would be, when it comes to the bigger hits, obviously there are some unlimitations that we could theorize about, but I think we will see a White Rabbit going to 2 as well as Ice Ryzeal going to 2, and then maybe in the future the King of the Feral Imps being killed. Let me know in the comments what you think of my prediction, and also give me your prediction. Also let me know how you feel about Master Duel right now. I think it is in a better state, and the statistics also prove this. Over on Steam charts you can see that more people are playing Master Duel. Once again, we have a healthier meta than there was before. Pretty nice. Let's see what the November pack can add. If you like this video, please consider subscribing, hitting the thumbs up and the notification bell, and we will see each other in the next one.